It's getting colder outside, and I've been trying to hide all the broken furniture I've been ignoring and not fixing behind this screen.
You're such a slacker.
And it's not working out. So today I'm gonna try to do some repairs on some furniture, get all the pick and finds that we haven't been finishing done, and get them to the shop.
A lot of what you're going to be seeing painted today is white swan because we have a ton of color in the shop, lots of fall decor, so I'm needing to bring in some white to kind of balance it all out. And then maybe we'll accent a few things with Hey Sailor just to bring in some of the navy blue.
Look at that. There's so many legs I can't even sweep good around that part.
Oh, the struggle is real.
So when I'm repairing furniture, a lot of times I'll get a piece of furniture that only has 1 or 2 wheels. These are made out of wood most of the time on these older dressers and desks, so I keep them, and I keep the insert too. That way, all I've got to do, take this wheel from another dresser, and now I've got a full set of functional wheels on here. The top of this desk was really bowed and warped, probably got left outside for a while, got wet, something like that. So what I did is I just countersunk holes into every place where the legs meet up, and I've got 2.5-inch screws down in through here and across the back as well. That kind of flattened everything out, but I also had this bow here that I've got to contend with. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hand plane that, and then I'll go in, and since we're painting this, I'm gonna fill it all with Bondo. If we weren't painting, I would use a stainable wood putty, and in these holes here, I would just use wooden plugs. I'm just gonna kind of flatten it out so it doesn't have a big bump right here in the middle once I go and fill these cracks with Bondo. I'm going in with the all-purpose Bondo. The thing I love about this is it dries super hard and it's sandable in 15 minutes. This is just the cream hardener that comes with it. That's all the more I need.
I'm going to use my orbital sander with 120 sandpaper, sand the top smooth everywhere where Zeb used Bondo, and then I pulled up loose veneer, but anywhere where the veneer is just a little jagged, I'm going to sand it smooth before I paint it. Anywhere that we sanded it, I'm going to go ahead and give it a first coat of shellac. We may have to come back and shellac it again to control bleed through, but you can almost be assured that if you've sanded somewhere and let those tannins out, that the bleed through will happen. So I'm going to try doing this and we'll see how it goes. We let the shellac dry for about 15 minutes. If you're worried about crackle in your final finish, let it dry for about 2 hours. I like crackle, so sometimes I just paint right over the top of it. I'm gonna be using my pneumatic spray gun from Harbor Freight. It's an HVLP, it works great with the DIY paint. I've got 3 parts DIY white swan to 1 part water, and I usually add about a tablespoon or more of water just to thin it out a little bit. We'll do 2 coats and see where we're at.
Some of you may remember seeing this from our live video when we did our pick and haul. I'm just getting rid of the heart cabinet faces. They don't really fit our style. Maybe if it was like February. And I'm opening this up so it's got a bigger open area here. Where's Jack when you need him? I need him to come roll these staples out for me.
So I am fresh out of the shower, which is why my hair is wet, and I'm ready to get distressing. We're gonna be using our DeWalt orbital sander and 220 sandpaper, and we're just gonna distress all the things. So on items like this that are ceramic or anything that's heavily detailed, instead of using an orbital sander, I just use water and I wet distress the paint right off. Once it's sealed, then you won't be able to wet distress it, but until then, you can just use a damp rag and take the paint off. So on this, I'm just taking off all the high places.
Everything's all distressed. Time to seal it up with some Sweet Pickins top coat. We sprayed everything else, but I'm going to be using some DIY clear wax on the desk because it had a few stains that popped up after I painted it. I'm worried that when I spray it with a liquid sealer like the top coat, that it'll pull even more of those stains that I may have missed back up, so the wax will help prevent that. The wax dries a lot slower, so it doesn't pull stains up through as it dries like a liquid sealer would.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Let's Paint Everything White. We do a lot of colored furniture in our shop, and so the white accents look really good with it. It kind of gives something for you to like have a break in your eye when you're looking at our retail space, and it sells really well. So I say it's a good idea.
Yeah, we might have to go back to painting everything white again, you know? No more cardboard blending. Everything's going white.
We are not going to go to painting everything white. I actually am feeling some chippy, so I think some milk paint is going to be coming up. I always like to mix things up, and then if I keep things mixed up, then I don't always have the same things in my shop. Plus, when one thing sells in the shop, we can bring in another thing that looks similar. And we just finally sold that chest that we did with the first in, first out bottles.
Yeah, back in the summer, beginning of the summer.
Yeah, that sold. So now we need to bring in something cool.
It's been a slow summer for big pieces of furniture.
Except for July. The end of July, like 1 million pieces sold, which is great. But that's why it's important to have like a variety of things. And if you're not filling up a space and you're just decorating a home, you can go pull a bunch of things you like from the thrift store, load up your spray gun with the accent color you want, and just go to town. And then whatever you don't like, neighbor gifts for Christmas.
We're clearing out the shop. It's gonna be all new in January.
You'll notice that we don't have any knobs on this. Hobby Lobby knobs are not on sale until next week. The shop is full, so we're gonna go ahead and hold off from putting this in until Tuesday. I'll grab some on Monday. We'll be good to go.
No reason to pay extra for knobs since we don't need to have them yet.
Here's the rundown of products we used. We used DIY White Swan. We used the Sweet Pickins top coat and the clear wax. Anything I'm missing?
The DIY clear wax.
Oh, the DIY clear wax and the Paint Pixie wax brush.
Yep.
I didn't watch that, but I'm sure that's what you used.
Yes, that is what I used.
Be sure to go to jamirayvintage.com for all those products to get the same look at home, as well as anything you need for your DIY and all of Zeb's handmade goodies.
Every now and then we like to make these videos where we show how much we purchased the item for, and then we show how much we anticipate making for the item after we refinish it. And if you're into furniture flipping and you like these videos, be sure you're sharing it with other people that do the same thing. If you've got friends that maybe want to see how much they can save if they do their own projects, that also works for them.
Make sure that you're commenting below with videos you'd like to see or any questions you have about flipping your own thrift store finds. And give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.